Hello and welcome to Biz Buzz with Bruno, presented by madstheater.com. We're here live in the beautiful rehearsal space for Kanopy Dance Studio, and who are in rehearsals right now for their Winter Fantasia Reimagined, correct? And I'm here with the artistic director and co-artistic director, Lisa Thorell and Robert Cleary. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Wonderful. So first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your background? I know you're a native Madisonian, right?
Yeah, I'm a native Madisonian. I went to school here, did my Master of Fine Arts and Dance and Asian Theater Studies. Moved to New York, danced professionally there with Martha Graham and other groups for a good 8-9 years, and then came back here to take Kanopy on. The current director was leaving. So
1995.
And how long ago was that?
1995.
1995. So you've been here for a while then.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about this beautiful space now. That's the last time we talked, you were here.
Yeah, we were on State Street, and then in March of 2020, things were, a lot of
the dark years.
A lot of stuff was happening, and besides that, it was like in February of 2020, our landlord on State Street, called us up and said, that clause in the lease where we can evict you with a year's notice. And so after 15 years on State Street in a space we loved, it is now a big, huge, multi-unit apartment dwelling thing. So we spent the first 6 months of COVID looking for a new space.
I do want to say that the landlord actually is a fabulous landlord and a supporter of Kanopy's, and it was something where it was a sale that they couldn't pass up.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so he worked with us through COVID to help us
find this
secure
space?
spaces.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so we built this out in 2021, and the fun part about it is like our old space was just a big, huge dance space. This one is fully multimedia, audio-visual equipment, because the first year, during that year, we were doing Zoom classes, as was the rest of the world. And so, we had to become tech savvy. We're so glad that we're back to not being tech savvy.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so convenient for you because you're steps away from the Overture Center now, and that's where you do all your performances.
And Madison Opera is right
We're
next
in the same
door.
building as Madison Opera. Yeah.
And having all the Zoom capabilities and audiovisual, we've been able to bring in guest artists live, but then also Zoom in from New York and such for either rehearsal or classes, master classes, those sorts of things.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
So we've still been able to keep up that mix of mainly in person, but also some.
That's really
virtual.
Nice. And now, and I don't remember, are you originally from Madison?
No, I'm not originally from
You're
Madison.
a transplant,
I'm a
right?
transplant. I'm from the great state of Minnesota, which, by the way, we just killed your Badgers.
Yes, we know, we saw, we cried. But you have like 45 below zero, and we only have 11,
Exactly.
so we'll do the trade-off.
I moved to Madison for the warmer weather.
Nice. And how long have you been here?
95 was when I also moved here. We met here. We did not meet elsewhere, but after long careers in dance before that. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the piece we're seeing being rehearsed right now.
So this piece, Chalo Ramye, is a modern dance and traditional Garba Indian dance form, and Ubdav is there, the guest artist who created this beautiful piece. I think what's so lovely about this is it not only celebrates this time of year, the holidays and the coziness and the solstice and all that.
The Festival of Lights.
The Festival of Lights. But also it's a personal story for him of longing for home and his village. And so, because he's lived here in the States now for years.
Many years. Yeah.
And he created a story of his friend from home thinking of him, and he appears as a vision, as a ghost or real. And then they celebrate together and have this celebration of memory of what it was like to, in all the festivals, dance Garba together, the folk dance, and then him actually being there. The beautiful part of the story is it isn't just an image of him or a thought, but he actually magically does appear there. So it's a celebration of love of family and community and friends.
And is it all original music, or is this music that he's taken from other already produced pieces?
The music that he's taken from other sources. Yeah,
So he wove the dance in with other music that he had already been familiar with.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Oh, you got it.
So tell me about, are all the dancers local to Madison, or do you have people do you have other guest artists that have come in for this particular show as well?
Ugdev is the guest artist, and the others are all Madison. In our company, our apprentices and our second junior company as well you'll see out here. We're very fortunate that several of our company dancers hail from California.
Oh.
And but have moved here, and actually one of our apprentices as well. We sort of have a fun connection with some of the California area and people.
And now, not only do you do performances, but this is also a teaching academy as well, right? You offer classes, and different people can come in as artists that grow within the company. Is that right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we teach ages 5 on up through people in their 70s.
And we teach modern dance.
Modern dance is the main focus, and the different styles and techniques in modern dance, whether it's Martha Graham or Doris Humphrey style, Eric Hawkins, Jose Limon style, all these foundational forms. And then we also teach creative process, which we feel is so important for especially the young kids to begin to learn how to dance their voice, have something really thoughtful that they want to express, and we work together, and they work in groups or show each other and that sort of thing. And then we also have ballet and some other classes along as well.
And who does your beautiful costumes? These are really, really gorgeous.
Well, so these were given to us by Ugdev's mother.
They're from South India.
They're from India.
Yeah, from Kerala.
And she just happened to have all these beautiful dresses.
She had her own.
She had her own company, and her aunt,
So her husband,
and
her son,
and
got into dance.
and Ugdev's aunt as well. So he grew up doing these dance forms, and so she had a company. She had this collection, and she decided to donate it.
That's really nice. Wow, what a gift.
Yeah, it's very special.
So your performances, are they in the Capitol Theater, or on the big stage?
Nope, Promenade Hall.
Oh, Promenade Hall. That's right. I should have known that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
And they're this coming weekend?
Yep, Thursday through Sunday. We've got a Thursday night, a Friday night, Saturday matinee, Saturday night, and then 2 matinees, like a early afternoon, late afternoon on Sunday.
And I'm sure the tickets are available at the Overture Center box office.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I know it's probably it's all ages. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. And we have some of our Academy students in the production as well, and in some of the other dances, so they get a chance to begin to get on stage and perform. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so now, once you're done with the winter fantasies, what's coming up in the rest of the season for spring and next year?
Yeah. So we will be guesting with Madison Opera in February. Maria de Buenos Aires, the Kanopy dancers will be performing in that, and I'll be choreographing. So that's an exciting adventure coming up in January.
Into February. Yeah.
And then in April, we bring in the amazing guest star, Blakely White McGuire. She's a former principal dancer with Martha Graham Company and choreographs. She has reset a piece for us. And she will also be performing a solo, so it's really special. And then we also will be finishing the symphony that Robert and I were working on last year. We started local composer Michael Bell. Sorry, I'm totally butting in. I'm not letting him speak at all.
I told Michael at the beginning, I'm just the beauty here. Clearly, she's the brains.
I'm not letting him speak at all. But Michael Bell, a local composer, he created this beautiful, magnificent symphony about regeneration and the environment. And we did 3 movements last spring, and did those 3 movements at Concerts on the Square.
Uh-huh.
And then we were finishing the other movements.
There's 5 total.
That we'll be showing in April, finishing that project up as well. So it's pretty exciting.
And when he composed these pieces, did he compose them with the mind of it being a dance piece, or did he compose them and you thought these would make a wonderful thing?
He approached us, and that's something, Robert, you might want to mention, but he approached us with it.
We said he thought it might be good for dance.
Yeah, because he created it.
And then we listened to it and we said, oh, this
something.
definitely works for dance.
Yeah. So because he had composed it years back, but we had been doing some other smaller collaborations with him. And things like the Farm Art Tour in Reedsburg, we've been doing, because he's got a blues, jazz, folk
Stuff.
group. So we had been doing some things with that out in these festivals. And then he was like, So we call it our love letter to nature, but it is a huge symphonic piece, very bold and big.
Wow,
great.
fun.
Yeah, it's very
Nice. Well, we're going to take a short break. We're going to reset up. We're going to be coming back with part 2 with Kanopy Dance Theater. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Perfect. Welcome back to the second segment of Biz Buzz with Bruno, and we're here with the creator of this amazing piece at Kanopy Dance Studio. Please introduce your guests to our friends.
Ubda Desai is here from, what's your hometown in India?
I'm from Nadia. So Nadia is a city in Gujarat. It's the westernmost state of India, and that's where this style of dance really comes from. It's a Gujarati style of dance.
And how did you first come up with the thought of doing this particular piece?
So when Robert and Lisa approached me with the concept of putting together a piece for Kanopy, I immediately went to Garba. For me, Garba it's a part of my soul. I grew up dancing this style of dance at festivals. So we have religious festivals where this dance is celebrated. We use it to celebrate anything. And so I've grown up doing this style of dance. So my mind went there, and my mind also went to, I'm an immigrant, and so I used to get to experience the spirit of Garba in India, and it's changed. My view of Garba and how I do it has changed now in America, and I wanted to put together a story that told this story about the diaspora, the immigrant experience of Garba.
It's very timely now, too.
Yeah. It's something that I think it's evolving, Garba, with things like TikTok and Instagram. It's becoming more commercialized, and so I've seen it changing, and I really wanted to bring together something that was more traditional feeling, more classic, make you really feel the folk essence of the dance. So I really hope I did it that justice. It's a dying art, I'd say, to keep things traditional.
And had you been to Madison before this? Or is this your first time here?
I used to live here, actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I used to live here for 5 years.
Oh,
yeah.
Coming back home for you then.
Yeah, it's like a good homecoming every time. Yeah.
And did you work with Kanopy then when you were here?
Yes, I got to be in the Love is Love show in February of 2020. I got to be a part of the Love number. It was a great piece. So yeah, I have some history with Kanopy from prior as well.
And I hear that your mother graciously gave these beautiful costumes to the company, which is really, really an amazing gift.
Oh yeah, my mother used to perform this style of dance as well, and she was in a girl group of 20 or so ladies that would go around performing Garba pieces, and they had a set of Garba costumes that you'll see the ladies wearing are these what are called chanya choli. Chanya choli is a skirt-based dress, and there's usually a crop top, lots of jewelry, and a dupatta to go over the head, or it's draped in many different ways. My mother's best friend passed away from breast cancer, and she curated these outfits for their performances. So my mother bought those dresses from that family and donated those to this performance.
How even more meaningful for you. That's really lovely.
Yeah, her best friend used to love doing Garba and setting Garba pieces, so it's really special that something that she put so much effort into can be shared with the Madisonian audience.
And I understand this is probably the first time that you've actually taken this style of dance, which is more community-based, or people that done out in festivals, and made it into a theatrical event. So what's that experience like for you?
It was quite an experience. I got to really think about the story. Mm-hmm. For me, Garba is a meditative style of dance. When you're dancing, you go for hours. So there's a 9-night festival called Navratri. Every night I used to go with my mom to the Garba grounds and dance from 8 p.m. to 2 or 3 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
And because you're doing the motions in a repetitive manner, it feels very meditative. You get into this almost trance-like state. And so I really wanted to think about, now that it's coming on stage, how can I put it together in a way that you bring together the essence of that story, of that style of dance, but also make it a performance, make it a story. So it was challenging, but I think I put myself into it ultimately. I really thought about, I used to do Garba in India, and I'm no longer in India, so my character is my memory, a memory of myself living in India, going through and experiencing this festival in India.
And what's it like working with these dancers?
Oh, it's been amazing. They're so eager to learn the style. They're doing it justice and beyond. I mean, I'm just so impressed with the training at Kanopy and the respect that they give and the dedication they have to this piece. It looks better every year that we get to do it, and my heart just swells with pride every time I see it.
And have any of these particular group of dancers, had they done this style of dancing previously to doing this?
A few of them, because we first put this together, oh my goodness.
I think 21?
21.
Yeah.
And it's grown, this piece. And so few of the dancers have been here since the beginning.
And they got to be a part of the very original experience. It was a collaborative in the sense of there are things that didn't come naturally to me in terms of staging, and they asked a lot of great questions of, how should this be angled, or different nuances, and it came together really nicely because of that collaborative process.
That's great. And now there are other pieces that are involved in this particular production as well. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, I just wanted to say though, in listening and talking about this piece, it is such a special piece, and it's heartwarming, and it brings almost tears of joy when you experience it, and even in talking about it, I'm like, this, it's just so beautiful. So we are so grateful for this.
Thank you. It's really just an honor. I get to be on stage with professional dancers, come back home to Madison, and I just love the community here, and I hope more and more of Madison can experience this style of dance.
Wonderful.
Yeah. The other pieces on the program are quite fanciful. One is, two of them are crazy stories I made up.
Okay.
Sort of honoring winter and the solstice and those sorts of things. And so one of them is Once Upon a Winter's Eve. And I was a kid that was always looking for Tomptons and elves and things like that. And I'm not Scandinavian, but I grew up with a lot of that around here in our background and everything. So a lot of the stories came out, and then I wove together a story of a little girl going out to play in the snow at twilight right before dinner, because that's what happened to me. I'd be out in the backyard and I'd hear Mom yelling at me to come in for dinner. But she just kind of happens along into the backyard, sort of turns into the woods and the glade, and suddenly she's transformed and she's in some magical place where the elves now live, and the fairies and the unicorns, what have you, all of it, And she sees the elves on their journey, going along the way through the woods and everything, and she gets to meet them, dance with them, celebrate with them, and it's just and I used music, actually Benjamin Britten's Ceremony of Carols, which seems a little bit incongruous, but it actually worked very beautifully. And so it's just these songs come together where she's more and more, she gets to meet the high elf, she gets to meet the other little elflings, she gets to make friends, and she gets crowned at the end, that kind of thing, and just kind of like Brigadoon, whenever she thinks about it and the snow is glittery, she can be there again. That's kind of how the story goes. But I really love it, and I remember when I first started choreographing it, I was concerned, because sometimes you can be kind of heady intellectual in your creating of art, and which is great, and I do a lot of those types of pieces, but I wanted to do something fun and fanciful, and I had to almost tell myself it was okay. And that was a while ago, and now I know it's okay. Like, no, it's I love it.
Well, that speaks to your children's theater background,
right?
Because you grew up in Children's Theater of Madison doing shows, so that was part of their, their mantra was bringing joyfulness and fun and things for children, and children acting for children. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that piece, just and glorious costumes by the New York designer David Quinn.
Nice.
Beautiful. And then the other one is the Norse tree Yggdrasil. And I wove together some Old English carols and the amazing performer Kiro Kopoulos. He is Yggdrasil, and so the costume is such that it's this. We took a parachute, and he's on a stand on a box. We corseted him, gave him these fronds, these things, these crazy, beautiful things, and he's evolving, but he's on this the whole time, and the way the parachute comes out and sort of twists, almost looks like a couture gown. Like it's pretty beautiful. Wow. But yeah, and so he's the central image. But I wanted this sort of heartwarming, fanciful, very romantic thing, and I had images of sort of the pre-Raphaelite painters of all the women in flowing white and children in little golden, things. And I just put this piece together where Yggdrasil, the tree, is sort of awakened from his slumber in my mind. Like he's sheltering all the worlds, and he's there for centuries and years, and he's eternal. But maybe once in a while, like at solstice or Thanksgiving time or somewhere in there, a little impish girl wakes him up, and they dance with garlands, everything with the tree, and the younger kids are in it, and it's just very sweet.
Nice.
And I really love it. Yeah.
Well, that makes for 3 unusually fun pieces for this production.
Yeah. We have one more shorty
in
there, and
okay.
that's Robert has choreographed. I did one section out of it, and it's Winter in the City, and it's 2 sections, sorry. No, I said that. I did 1 section. He did 2. But it's to Bernstein's Suite on the Town.
Oh,
and
nice.
So we took the 40s film musicals idea, the young ingenue going into the big city and the sort of svelte lady that knows everything, and everything. And we just wove together. It's a quartet for 4 dancers. And we just pulled out sort of everything you think of when you think in terms of dance moves or sort of storyline when you think of the 40s musicals, all those musicals. So,
wow, really fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you've got your work cut out for you. Go and see Kanopy Dance at the Overture Center Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
And Sunday.
And Sunday this weekend. I know you've got a lot of things to do for the holidays, but this is going to be something that you and your family will really enjoy. So thanks for joining us today. Thank you for having us in your beautiful studio.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing this beautiful, gorgeous costume, your wonderful dancers. And happy holidays. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Kanopy.
Thank you.
Thank you.